Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. It wasn't long ago that the Tigers were looking up in the standings at the Indians. Back on May 23rd, they trailed first place Cleveland by 7. Flash forward to tonight, and the Tigers have a game lead over the Cleveland Indians and 4.5 up on the Chicago White Sox. Welcome to Comerica Park, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of this series featuring the Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us here tonight. Rod Allen will join us in just a moment. The Tigers' good fortunes, without a doubt, have been tied to their pitching. Justin Verlander showed us that last night. However, you also have to look at the offense and a resurgent Johnny Peralta to see why the Tigers have had some success. Peralta has given the Tigers lineup a lot more depth these days. When you look at his numbers compared to where he was at this point last year, he is hitting almost 50 points higher this season with more power. He's knocked in a few more runs. Johnny Peralta, after a night off last night, is back in there tonight. He'll bat 8th for the Tigers in Game 2 in this series. Stay with us, starting lineups and the first pitch coming up. But right now we send you back to the Call Sam studio. Here's Ryan Field. Well, it was an exciting night at the ballpark last night. What do we have in store for you here tonight? Let's find out. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City. Cleveland and Detroit getting set to do battle. And if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Maniaca's Cleveland Indians find themselves now down by a game in the standings to the Detroit Tigers. And Manny's starting lineup tonight looks like this. It is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for ACTA this evening, it'll be Grady Sizemore leading it off in center field. Carlos Santana playing first base tonight. Michael Brantley in left. Asdrubal Cabrera is at short, followed by Shin-Soo Choo, Matt Laporta, Orlando Cabrera, Jack Hanahan, and Lou Marson rounding out the lineup for the Tribe. The scouting report on Brad Penny is presented tonight by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Brad Penny has done nice work in that Tigers rotation. The velocity on the fastball for Brad is finally starting to come back. He threw several fastballs at 95 his last time out there, also changing speeds very well and pitching to a lot of contact. He's been throwing lots of ground balls, which means the infielders have been really busy.
So Penny all set to go to work on a nice night for baseball here in Detroit. It'll be Grady Sizemore to lead things off for Cleveland. Sizemore, then Santana, and then Michael Brantley.
Rough night last night for Grady. Well, rough night for most of the Cleveland Indians hitters last night.
That is true, but Grady, an especially tough night with 4 strikeouts. First pitch from Penny is low. 1 ball to no strikes, and we are underway tonight. 73 degrees our game time temperature here at Comerica Park. Sizemore batting .246. And Penny's 1-0. There's a strike called by Brian Runge. Sizemore has 7 home runs this year. He's knocked in 17. Penny started the windup and then stopped. Indians at 35-30 coming in. Tigers have won 37 games and they've lost 30.
Maniac to put Grady Sizemore back in that leadoff spot a couple of days ago in New York, trying to shake up his offense. He was batting a little lower in the batting order.
Penny just could not get on the same page with Avila. He finally called Alex out. And the two with a quick meeting on the mound. Well, without question, the Indians have to find a way, somehow, some way, to get their offense going. And there's a base hit to start things off for Sizemore.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's presented by the Beaumont Health System. You've got Bosch in left, Jackson's in center, Ordonez back in right tonight. Kelly, Peralta, Santiago Cabrera, the remainder of the infield. Avila, he is behind the dish, and Brad Penny is on the mound.
Leadoff man on for the Indians. That'll bring up Carlos Santana, batting in the 2 slot these days. When the Tigers last saw the Indians, Santana was batting in the cleanup spot. That was earlier this year.
And Grady Sizemore does not have a steal this year, but he has spent some time on the disabled list. And probably not as fast after the surgery to the knee last year as he has been the last few years in a big league uniform.
Avila blocks it. Sizemore goes nowhere. Now Grady spent the start of the season on the DL and then bruised his knee later in the season, sending him to the DL again. But for his career, he's at 76%. One and one on Santana. And that is whistled down the right field line. That ball is going to hook and go foul. And Santana got in front of that one and hooked it. It had the distance.
That's what a lot of opposing pitchers have been doing to Santana. They've been climbing the ladder with the fastball, but Brad didn't get that one high enough, and the left-handed swinging Santana able to get on top of that pitch at 90 miles an hour.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Now you got to go soft away from Santana, and you can get a swing and miss here very early. You don't have to throw him a strike. And just disguise it very nicely as a strike and make sure you get it down.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Peralta tags the bag one. There's a double play.
That's even better.
A 6-3 twin killing.
Breaking ball down and away from Santana. He tried to pull it. It went right to Peralta. He tagged the bag with his left foot and finished the play on to Cabrera.
That'll bring up Michael Brantley now with the bases empty and 2 outs. Brantley was 0 for 3 last night. As we mentioned, Verlander gave up just 2 hits the entire ball game. Their first hit came in the 8th, breaking up the no-hit bid.
Verlander had better stuff last night than he had when he threw his no-hitter in Toronto, in my opinion.
And I think a lot of people share that opinion. I know Jim Leland does.
I mean, he only threw 1 slider last night. He threw a lot of sliders in that start against Toronto when he threw the no-hitter because he didn't have his good curveball that day.
Boy, the curveball last night was unbelievable.
And the changeup. And the fastball command was unbelievable. He only threw about 55 or 60 fastballs in the game last night, 40 of which were 95 miles an hour and above.
A well-deserved rest tonight, watching the action from the Tiger dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 on Brantley. 283 batting average for Brantley. He's hit 5 home runs. He did draw a walk in last night's game. And the 2-1. That'll go foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I kind of like what I'm watching here the last couple of days by Verlander and also Penny. Pitching inside aggressively. And that's one of the lost arts of pitching these days, is most starters just don't pitch inside all that frequently. But Verlander did quite a bit last night, and Penny has gone in there a couple of times to Brantley.
Right back up the middle. Peralta to his left. And Brantley is out at first base to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. Peralta back in the lineup tonight for the Tigers. We'll check out the starting 9 for Detroit, presented by Big Boy. Jackson, Kelly, and Bosch are at the top. Cabrera cleaning up. Victor Martinez, your DH. Ordonez back in right field tonight. Avila, Peralta, and Santiago, your bottom 3. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Fausto Carmona. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Don't necessarily know what Fausto's issues have been this year, but he's lost 8 games, and it's kind of hard to fathom that with the power sinker that he does feature, anywhere from 90 to 95 miles an hour. There has been some control issues. Too many fastball counts for Carmona, and we're talking about a guy that was their lone all-star last year, and there's opening day starter, so Manny Acta would love to get him straightened out.
Carmona, 27 years old, a native of Santo Domingo. First pitch to Jackson is a strike.
Last time Carmona took the ball for his club in New York, he threw a total of 93 pitches, only 45 strikes.
Wow.
Get down.
Ball is shot into right field, straight at Shin Soo Choo for the out. One gone.
Let's take a look at the Indians defensively as presented by Tim Hortons. Now, they've got a talented outfield. They've got Brantley, they've got Sizemore, they've got Chu. Hanahan, Cabrera, Santana at first. He was catching last night. Lou Marson, good defensive catcher behind the plate tonight, putting down the signs for Carmona.
Here's Don Kelly. Kelly again playing third base tonight for Detroit. As the Tigers await the return of Brandon Inge, who is now taking batting practice, taking ground balls, working out at the ballpark.
Lloyd McClendon told me today that his team would come out and they would be somewhat patient against Carmona. They wanted to feel him out. They wanted to see if he was throwing some strikes, and they would adjust accordingly.
Well, Carmona's road numbers this year have not been very good. 1-5 away from Progressive Field, and he is 6-6-4 on the road. And the Tigers are hoping to add to those numbers here tonight. Checked it. And he went, said home plate umpire Brian Runge. 1-2.
Runge looked quicker than McClellan was last night, huh?
Not by much. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Look at the movement on that pitch. Are you kidding me? With his skill set, I don't know why this guy gets hit as hard as he does. Take a look at this two-seam fastball here. I mean, are you kidding me? That thing moved about 3 feet out of the strike zone.
There are the splits we were alluding to. Carmona on the road with an elevated ERA. Off to a good start in this one, though, as Bosch digs in. Way outside, 1-0. Well, it's not like Carmona has not had success in the past. He's been very, very good. Has had some really good seasons. In fact, a career year in 07 in which he won 19 games. But he's been an on-again, off-again type talent for Cleveland. And this is really his second year in which he's been considered the staff ace.
Just a 3-pitch pitcher for the most part. Sinker ball, slider, and a changeup.
Behind here, 2-0 on Bosch, batting .283. Wave and a miss. 95
with late life.
2-1. Way outside again. 3 balls and 1 strike on Bosch, who last night was 1 for 3 in the opener. So that big elbow protector, along with his buddy in the on-deck circle, Miguel Cabrera. That front elbow is protected.
They hang a lot off the field, too. Their buddies off the field.
Belted in the air. Deep right field. Way back. And you can kiss that one goodbye. A line drive home run for Brennan Bosch.
That is the 14th home run this year that Fausto has given up. And we also talked about some of the counts that Fausto needs to stay out of. That would be this count. It's a 3-0 count, and it's a fastball, and it's right down the middle. It doesn't sink, and it gets drilled by Brennan Bosch. I mean drilled.
Bosch hits number 9 on the season, his 35th RBI, a no doubt about it home run. Tigers have their first hit of the night. It was a long and loud one.
I guess they'll start another extra base streak here tonight.
Good point. It came to an end last night, which is odd because the Tigers had 11 hits in that game last night, all singles. Cabrera hitting .316. Bouncing ball third base side off the glove of Hanahan into short left. That thing ate him for lunch. Cabrera's aboard.
Hanahan tried to back up on this ball to give himself the best possible chance of making the play. He got the hop that he was looking for, but it jumped right off the tip of his glove in the left field.
That'll bring up Victor Martinez. Victor has hit safely in 5 straight, was 1 for 3 last night. .318 batting average for Martinez. E5 is the official ruling on that play. Ball outside. Victor over his last 40 games is hitting at a .359 clip, and when you look at how the Tigers lineup is set up tonight, as it has been on many nights, Bosch, Cabrera, Martinez, when they're all going well, that is a pretty dynamic trio. We've got Ordonez, who is back in the lineup tonight for the Tigers. He's batting 6th, so he's on deck. And the Tigers are hoping his bat will revert to the form that he had before the injury.
Good hitters count here for Victor. 2 balls, no strikes. If Carmona decides to throw him the fastball, he will get a good swing at it.
Back out of play, 2-1.
He's getting better every month.
Victor spent a lot of time on the DL early with the groin problem that kept him out of some games in the month of April. But May was good, and June awfully good as well. In the air toward left field and hit well. Brantley on the run, still going back. It's off the wall. Cabrera coming to third. They'll stop him there, and it's a double for Victor Martinez.
Every time that Carmona gets himself in a predictable fastball count, the Tigers will hit him hard because he doesn't have good movement when he decides to throw his fastball in that count. It's a straight fastball. It's at 93, but not really a lot of movement at all, and Victor goes out and he drives the ball the opposite way.
3 straight hitters have been in a good hitter's count, as you say, and they've all hit the ball hard. Second and third. 2 outs for Maglio Ordonez. Maglio fights that one off 0-1. Ordonez was 0 for 2 in that makeup game against Tampa Bay. It was on Monday, his first game back. He did draw a walk, and the 2 outs that he made were on balls that were hit pretty hard. One ball, 1 strike. So Carmona retired the first 2 batters in this inning, and then he gave up the home run to Bosch. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Ordonez. Maglio is sporting a little bit of a different look these days with the high socks coming up all the way to the knees. 1-2 the count stays. We talked about Carmona before the game started tonight on Tigers Live, and he really has been struggling.
April, the earned run average was over 5, and May as well, and now over 8 in the month of June. 35 innings in his last 6 starts. He's given up 42 hits. 9 have left the building.
In fact, Carmona now has allowed a home run in 7 consecutive starts. Inside to Ordonez, 2-2. Only Colby Lewis has given up more home runs than Carmona. In the air toward right field. Chu coming on. And he can't get it. Foul ball. Ooh, just foul. Maglio almost dumped in a 2-run double.
And that would have been just the break that Maglio needs to start getting himself to feeling a little bit better and to feeling comfortable.
How close was it? Didn't miss by much. "24 pitches in this inning for Carmona. Low, 3-2. Full count to Maglio. Second and third, Avila waiting on deck. And he walked him. Ordonez gets a base on balls. That'll load him up. Homer error, double, and a walk after the first 2 are retired. And a chance now for Avila to break it open a bit early in this game. Alex had an RBI last night on a sacrifice fly. It could have been a whole lot more. Great running catch. Saved probably a double and a few more RBIs. And ball 1 to Alex. So Carmona continues to get behind. He has now thrown 27 pitches. Only 14 of them have been strikes. Two and 0. Maniaca showing some concern early in this one. Last night his team was dominated by Verlander. And tonight Tigers have Carmona on the ropes early. Miss. No, it's on the outside corner. Strike 2-1.
It's a good take by Avila. 2-0. You're looking for a pitch inside, a ball that you can drive into right center field. That's a tailing fastball, borderline strike called by Brian Runge, and Avila very wise not to swing at that pitch.
Back up the middle into center field, base hit. Cabrera scores. Here comes Martinez behind him. He'll come to the plate and score. 2-run single for Alex Avila.
Lloyd McClendon said before the game that his team would feel out Carmona in the very first inning. They would see how effectively he was throwing the ball over the plate. He has not been very efficient at throwing strikes. A lot of the guys have gotten really good counts to hit in, and they haven't missed that fastball in the good counts to hit it.
38 RBIs this season now for Avila. And the Tigers have roared out to a 3-0 lead in this one. Tim Belcher, former Tiger, is out there, the pitching coach for the Indians.
I was watching Avila take batting practice today, and I pretty much watched his entire BP. And he has got a really good swing going these days, really using his hands well, good leverage from the waist down. And he's all smiles these days. Why wouldn't he be?
First hit of the series. He now has 3 driven in this 3-game set. Here's Peralta.
That error costly by Hanahan at third.
Yeah, that would have ended the inning.
Costly.
Carmona retired the first 2 batters on just 6 pitches, and he's now just thrown his 31st.
And at least 15 after the error.
Peralta batting an even 300. And Carmona hits the outside corner, 1-1. Johnny has knocked in 34 this season.
What a nice luxury to have if you're Jim Leyland. Your number 7 and your number 8 hitters are hitting 300.
Slowly roll toward third. They'll tag the bag for the out as Hanahan makes the play. Inning over. However, the Tigers got to the board first on the home run by Brennan Bosch. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's. Stop by today and try the new Shroom and Swiss sandwich. Arby's. It's good mood food. Another nice night here in the Motor City and a good start for Detroit as they try and go up 2 games in the standings on Cleveland. Tigers get 3 in the bottom of the first, and as we go to the second, it'll be Asdrubal Cabrera to lead it off. Cabrera, then Chu, and then Laporta. First pitch is hammered in the air to left. Hit pretty well. Bosch going back to the wall to make the catch. Mo was picking up steam. Brennan able to run it down. 1 out. Now Shin-Soo Choo. Chu was 0 for 3 last night. Ball 1.
Indians have to get Chu going. He hits 300 every year. 20 home runs, 20 steals. Struggling this year. so far.
Chu started the year 2 for his first 24 and has never really been able to dig out of the hole because 2009 and 2010 were really good seasons.
You talked to some people that travel with this Cleveland Indians team, and they will tell you that Chu's trying to make up too much ground on any given night, trying to get it all back at once, which is what guys do on occasion when they're struggling.
Three and 0 on Shin-Soo Choo. And Penny hits the outside corner. 3-1. Well, Chu is that combination of speed and power. He will steal some bases. Has 9 stolen bases this year. Wave and a miss. 3-2.
He did have one good swing last night against Verlander, that play that Austin Jackson made early in the game, taking an extra base hit away from Chu.
In the air to center, there's Jackson again. Easier play, and 2 gone. Couple of fly ball outs for Penny here in the second. It'll bring up Matt Laporta. Laporta batting just .242. He has power, 8 home runs. Would you say this is a big year for Laporta? A lot has been expected of this young man since coming over in the Sabathia deal.
He's not young anymore. I think Laporta's probably 26, 27 years old, and he's getting into that area as far as the age is concerned where he really needs to start putting up some numbers if he's going to hold on to an everyday spot in the big leagues. He's had every opportunity to show the Cleveland Indians that he was an impact player that they traded for.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. When you're traded for a guy like CC Sabathia, I guess that brings an extra layer of pressure for a guy like Laporta, who has to feel like, well, I need to make good on this trade because he basically was the centerpiece. Well,
especially with the reports that came along with Laporta and how good he was and how good he was going to be. And he just hasn't reached his full potential yet. He will, though, once he starts to drive that ball the other way, because he's got a lot of power. But most of his power, his usable power, is from center field to left field. But he's big and strong and physical enough to drive the ball the other way as well.
He'll shoot that one foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, the Indians have made some major deals the past few years. We talked about Sabathia and Cliff Lee. Don't forget that deal.
Brantley is doing nice work. He's kind of doing exactly what they thought he would do. He's run, he hits. Laporta, Santana, they've been good.
Outside, 3-2. Orlando Cabrera waiting on deck as the Indians look for a 2-out base runner. 3-0 Tigers in the early going. And there's the base hit to left for Laporta.
He'll drill that pitch. Well, last night, Orlando Cabrera pretty much was the only thing that stood in between Verlander and his 3rd career no-hitter. It was a fastball that was right down the middle and a little bat flip there by Cabrera. Actually, that fastball wasn't down the middle. It was outside, but it was higher than Verlander wanted it. Verlander wanted that ball about 6 inches lower.
That spoiled the no-hit bid. And there's a strike on the outer edge.
Cabrera actually had pretty good numbers going into that at-bat against JV in his career. So it wasn't a total shock that he was the one that got the hit.
Absolutely not. You can also consider the fact that he has 2,000 major league hits.
That's right.
There's a ground ball under the glove of Kelly into left field. So back-to-back singles. And the Indians have something going now with 2 outs. Bring up Jack Hanahan. Hanahan gave the Indians some good play early on in the season, the former Tiger farmhand, but has since cooled. He's batting .228. Four of his 5 home runs, as a matter of fact, were hit in the first month of the season. The 1-0. 2-0 the count. Left center field, hit well. Jackson on the run, still going. Bosch cuts in front of him and hauls it in. Nice running play by Brennan. 2 stranded for Cleveland. $3-0 in favor of Detroit. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 3 hits for Cleveland. And Fausto Carmona back to the hill. Santiago stands in for Detroit. Ramon the only man not to bat in that first inning. They sent 8 men to the plate. He'll be followed by Jackson and then Don Kelly. One ball, 1 strike on Santiago. He's had 3 hits on this homestand. The 1-1 to the right side. Orlando Cabrera, 1 gone.
Hey fans, the greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite mid-summer classics, and tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern to find out who won.
Here's Austin Jackson. He looks at a strike, 0-1.
That home run that Reggie Jackson hit at Tiger Stadium has to be a memorable All-Star moment.
I'm trying to figure out what would be number 1. There have been some really neat moments. There's a check swing, rolled foul, no balls and 2 strikes.
That throw that Dave Parker made from right field,
oh yeah,
to throw out somebody at home plate was an incredible throw. I remember that.
Cal Ripken hit a home run in his final All-Star game?
He did, in Seattle.
Ground ball to second. Routine play there for Cabrera, and there are 2 gone.
Then you had that one game that I don't know if it's going to be a memorable moment, but the one game that ended in a tie.
Yeah, that's not memorable.
No?
No, not for me it wasn't. How about the Fosse and Pete Rose collision? Well played.
No doubt.
Big play. Here's Don Kelly. He struck out in the first. Ball outside. Do they actually have it? Oh, look at this. They are working overtime in the truck tonight. There's that collision which in effect really ended the career of Ray Fosse. Charlie Hustle, even in an exhibition game, playing hard. The 1-0.
That was quick, wasn't it?
That was really quick.
Ask and you shall receive.
The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Also, did you notice that was the only one they could find?
I wasn't going to say it.
We listed about 6 other ones. Look out, that'll go foul down the first base line. 2-2. Impressive nonetheless, though, to dig that footage up. Tigers got 3 in the first, and the first inning has been their second biggest inning in terms of run production. Only the fourth has been a bigger inning for them. So when you get off to quick starts, you certainly have a better chance to win. It's lifted toward left. It'll slice, though. Back into the seats. Two on Don Kelly, trying to keep it alive for Brennan Bosch. Another one back out of play. I will say this about Don Kelly. He's batting only .248, or was coming in, but he will give you a tough at bat every single time. He works the count. He can, or has the ability to foul off pitches.
He's played well when he's gotten the opportunity to play.
Driven to center field. On the move is Grady Sizemore. And it'll be a 1, 2, 3 innings. So 2 in the books. The merry-go-round here at the ballpark. Got a beautiful night. Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Angus Third Pounder. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Final results coming your way on Tigers Live post game. Good night for ball game here in the Motor City. Have a good crowd on hand here for game 2 in the series.
One of our production assistants, Stephanie, in attendance here. Some good seats she has down there, the left field line.
We got to get her some better seats than that.
Well, they're not bad down there. Our family sits down there sometimes.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do.
They like it?
They do. They like hanging out down there with the people. They say it's a different kind of crowd down that left field line.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that I buy. Lou Marson leads it off. Marson, then Sizemore, then Santana. Rolled foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Marson catching in tonight's game. With Santana playing first. We saw a little bit earlier on that graphic, Marson, one of the players they got in return for Cliff Lee, who now is forming one of the or part of one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball out in Philly. Santana, meanwhile, came from the Dodgers organization for Casey Blake. Penny's 1-1. 1-2 on Marson.
And nice little breaking ball here by Brad. It's one of the things that he's been doing, mixing in all of his pitches.
Penny just missed, 2-2. The Indians have really struggled here at Comerica Park. In fact, they have lost 13 of their last 14 in this ballpark. They had beaten the Tigers 6 in a row overall until Tigers won last night. That missed again, 3-2. Sizemore waiting on deck. Indians have had 3 hits. They got a couple of them in the second but did not score. Little looper back a second. That'll drop in. Base hit. Leadoff man is on. Right now we go back to the studio. Time for a game break with Ryan Field. All right, Ryan, thank you. Those are known as text messages back in New York, courtesy of John Sterling. Here's Sizemore. That's rolled foul. Ever listen to John Sterling in New York?
I do listen to some of the names that he calls his players.
The Grandy Man can.
Swishalicious.
Swishalicious.
He's funny.
He is that.
He is funny. Entertaining.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Grady Sizemore. And speaking of Curtis Granderson, he is now tied with Jose Bautista.
Curtis is having a tremendous year, but really not doing anything differently than he didn't do in a Tigers uniform.
To the first baseman, Cabrera spins to second one, and a double play. Penny got over there and covered and took the return throw.
That is the most difficult double play to turn in the infield. 3-6-1. Brad Penny didn't hesitate for one moment, and Peralta threw it back even though he wasn't there initially, and Penny got there and was able to catch it and got the call.
Second double play. The Tigers infield has turned behind Brad, although Penny was a big part of that one. Base is empty now for Carlos Santana.
That was one of the things that Gene Lamont and Jim Leland and Rafael Belliard, when they moved Cabrera from third base to first base, they really had to work on his throws to the shortstop on starting double plays. And he has gotten pretty good at it. Very accurate with his throws. not trying to throw the ball and then trying to get back to the base at the same time. He simply takes his time. He makes sure that he gives Peralta a good feed, which he does. And he doesn't worry about getting back to the bag. He says that's the pitcher's job. Very nicely done by Cabrera.
Santana looks at a ball outside, 2-0. It's been a struggle this year for Carlos Santana. Average only .219.
He hasn't made the adjustments that the league has made to him. They really don't even throw him a whole lot of strikes these days.
When he broke onto the scene last year with much fanfare, he hit .345 in the month of June and really had a pretty good season overall last year. But this season it's been slow to go. And earlier this year when they were playing the Red Sox, he seeked out David Ortiz, who is a fellow Dominican. And I guess Ortiz spent some time talking hitting with him. And there's a walk.
That's what he will do. He will take a walk. And his on base percentage is pretty good. And that's why he's batting second.
First walk for Penny.
Did he elaborate much on the conversation he and Ortiz had?
No, he didn't. But it was a conversation that lasted about 25 minutes or so. And David, you know, who's about 10 years older than Santana, really took the time to help out a kid from his country and try and tell him that the game is all about adjustments.
Oh, Big Papi is good like that, though. He is one of the best human beings in the game.
Here's Brantley. Good block by Avila.
I know you said that Santana's a Dominican kid, but Big Papi would do that for anybody. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
One ball to no strikes on Michael Brantley, who bounced out back in the first. There's a ball outside. Two 2-0 on Brantley, who hung around big league ballparks and minor league ballparks, for that matter, as a kid. His dad played in the minors and the major leagues. There's a bouncer to second base, and that'll get him out of the inning as Santiago throws on Brantley. No runs, a hit, a walk, one man left. Out to a 2-game lead in the Central with a victory here tonight. Bosch got to Carmona with a solo home run back in the first inning, part of that 3-run frame. And a strike called on Bosch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cabrera then Martinez to follow here in the third.
When power hitters find that fly ball stroke, the home runs start to come in bunches. And they have started to come in bunches for Brennan.
Roll to second base. Cabrera has it.
Let's get you caught up with that first inning. Brennan Bosch got it going with 2 outs, a solo shot to right. It looked like Carmona was going to get out of the inning, but a miscue by Hanahan, followed up by a double by Martinez and a single by Avila. And when you add it all up, 3 runs on the board for the Tigers in the bottom half of the first inning.
Miguel Cabrera reaching on an error, which turned out to be a huge play in that first inning because it would have been the 3rd out. Rolls this one again to Hanahan, who backs it up on the backhand and throws him out. This time he was able to make the play. 2 gone. Carmona finding a bit of a groove now. He's retired 6 straight. Fausto is also from the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic has really provided Major League Baseball with a lot of outstanding pitching talent. Of course, the all-time winningest Dominican-born pitcher, Juan Marichal. Pedro Martinez, Dominican as well. Victor looks at strike 1.
Venezuelan players are starting to catch up with Dominican players as far as the number of players that are stateside these days. It used to be a lot more Dominican-born players, but now a lot of Venezuelan kids in the show.
Yeah, look at the Tigers roster.
Full of them.
Here's the 0-1.
Oh.
0-2 on Martinez.
That's a wicked pitch there. That's an 87-mile-per-hour changeup. I was asking Victor today about his 2-strike approach and whether he did anything differently when he got 2 strikes on him, and he said the only thing that he really concentrates on doing is taking a little shorter, quicker swing.
There's a base hit to left, maybe more. Let's see. Victor headed to second. Here comes a throw, not in time. It's a second double of this game.
Victor was telling me before the game that with 2 strikes, he's even a better hitter in his opinion than when he's ahead in the count because he doesn't try to do a whole lot. Look at the location of this pitch. It's down. It's off the plate. He doesn't try to do too much with it. He finds the head of the bat, and he gets himself another double. What an at-bat by Victor. By the way, who is the leading American League hitter at night, if you're concerned with all the stats and numbers we get.
I'm with that.
He came into the game with a 378 batting average playing under the bright candles.
Tigers now have 4 hits. Ordonez had a base on balls in the first.
In case you're wondering about most guys in the big leagues, guys will do some things differently with 2 strikes. Some guys will choke up on the bat. Some guys will spread out to give themselves a wider base, just trying to put the ball in play.
0-2. Maglio went on the DL May 11th. That was his last game. Ankle weakness stemming from the surgery he had in the offseason. And went down and served a rehab when he was ready, and it lasted 9 games. He hit a couple of home runs down at Toledo. Trying to get home a 2-out run here with a base hit. And there's your base hit. Martinez coming to third. They're going to stop him, though. Very little chance to score, and so Ordonez has a single.
Hey, Hey fans, see the Tigers take on the Arizona Diamondbacks June 24th and 25th at 7:05 and enjoy a spectacular postgame fireworks display, weather permitting, of course. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER and log on to tigers.com to see the Tigers take on the Fighting Gibsons in a week or so.
And fighting they are. Arizona, game and a half back in the National League West. Two outs. Here is Alex Avila, who singled in 2 in the first. Ball 1. Tigers headed out west after this series is done. On to Colorado and then into Los Angeles.
A couple of nice places. That ballpark in Colorado is very, very nice. Coors Field in Denver.
It is, but I really love doing games from Dodger Stadium. What a great setting that is.
They're both awesome. Nice stops on the tour. We don't get a chance to go to these places that often, so it's nice to go.
How many Dodger dogs did you eat as a kid?
I ate a bunch of them,
Did
man.
you?
I ate a bunch of them. Little chocolate malts. I had so much fun when I was a kid going to that ballpark. Very, very fortunate.
Tell me about these chocolate malts.
Well, they got the little malts. They come in a little, cup.
In the cup?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Little cup.
So you would have a Dodger dog and wash it down with chocolate malt.
Yep. Some fries, too.
Nice. Excellent. No sushi back then at the ballpark?
No
LA?
sushi.
No.
No.
Okay, just checking. The 2-1. Line to left. It's a foul ball. Just missed. So here's where Avila ranks among major league catchers.
That's not just the American League?
Nope, both leagues.
Oh.
First, second. It's been quite a year. And really, he has played every day, for the most part, behind the plate. He has been spelled every now and then by Victor Martinez. But when Martinez went on the DL, he was out there every single day.
And the success hasn't changed him. Still a very humble young man. Very humble young man.
That is just his nature. And that is the entire Avila family. I mean, you're talking about a young man here that is just so respectful of the game and the people that walk into the clubhouse and ask him questions as reporters, broadcasters. Always has time. 3-2. Maglio will be on the move from first base. And he walked him. So Carmona now has hit another rough stretch after getting the first 2 men in this inning. It's his second walk.
Johnny Peralta has done some of his best work in this very situation. And runners in scoring position with 2 outs. He has been one of the best hitters on the Tigers team.
He's got him loaded right now. Tigers trying to break open a 3-0 game.
There are those numbers for Johnny. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Possibly headed to his first All-Star team. All-Star game, I should say.
He shoots one to right field. Chu is under it. And the threat is over. Tigers will leave him loaded here in the third. We go to the fourth at Comerica. Out games than Justin Verlander since 2007. There's only one. The only pitcher that has had more 10 or more strikeout games since Verlander, or than Verlander, since 07.
Good question tonight. You know the answer?
It took me 2 guesses, but I got it.
Took you just 2.
Yep. Didn't get it right on the first one. There are so many guys you could go with. Well, I guess not a ton, but there are a few that come to mind quickly. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera to lead it off as we go to the 4th inning. 3-0 in favor of Detroit in this one. And the Tigers got all 3 of their runs in the first inning. Penny has been helped out by a couple of double plays tonight. Strike 1 on Asdrubal Cabrera. Coming into the season, Cabrera had 18 home runs total in his big league career. Total. He's got 12 already this year. It has been a breakout season for Asdrubal. 43 RBIs. And at times playing a dazzling shortstop as well. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Back out of play. He'll be followed by Chu and then Laporta here in the 4th. Yikes. The Indians offense struggling to say the least. 2 runs in their last 39 frames.
Hitting coach John Nunnally not getting a lot of sleep these days. And it's not just 1 or 2 guys. There's about 4 or 5 guys that he's trying to get on track. Very difficult to do.
It's got to be the worst nightmare for a hitting coach when you have, as you say, 4, 5, 6 guys that really are not performing.
I mean, you're watching a lot of film. There's lots of early batting practice, and the majority of the time it's from the neck up anyway. I mean, guys just aren't thinking the way they should be thinking because the talent's there. They've already done it.
Back up the middle into center. Asdrubal Cabrera has a leadoff single. That'll make it 5 hits on the board now for the Indians. They've had their chances. It's just that the double play balls have taken the wind out of their sails. Shin-Soo Choo coming up. There was a time when Shin-Soo Choo and Asdrubal Cabrera were both in the Seattle organization, and both of them were traded away. Now Choo has had some terrific seasons, and albeit he is struggling this year. But the M's, I'm sure, would welcome either one of those guys back.
For sure.
Bill Bavasi was the general manager in Seattle at the time that Choo was traded away. They got a left-handed bat, Russell Branyan, for him. They felt that he provided more power at the time than Chu, who was still coming up in the minor leagues. And once Chu departed, he really developed.
They gave up a one-dimensional guy in Russell Branyan with a lot of power for a guy that has 5 tools, right. Although the batting average is low right now for Shin-Soo Choo, and he has displayed all 5 of the tools at the major league level at above average talent.
But as Bavasi went on to say years later, after Chu went on to put up the good years with Cleveland, at the time nobody was really up in arms that they gave up a minor leaguer in Chu because he really hadn't shown what he could do at this level. And it goes to show you that how difficult it is sometimes to project guys and know what they will do at the major league level.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Especially when you can get a guy that has been somewhat proven in the big leagues.
Cabrera has 9 steals this year. He has not been caught yet. They are trailing by 3. But if Penny forgets about him over on first base, he will steal second.
Back out of play, 2-2 on Shin-Soo Choo.
That trade deadline will come up again here in July, the end of July, and there will be some good young prospects traded from their respective clubs to other teams for veteran players.
In my mind, always, aside obviously from the playoffs, the most interesting part of the season when you get down to the final 2 weeks before the deadline and all the speculation and all the rumors that come out, and GMs are constantly on the phone.
I think you're going to see a lot of general managers move a little quicker this year, not wait until the deadline because so many teams are in the hunt. If you wait around too long, you're not going to get that player you're looking for.
Knocked down, Avila will throw down to second, and he's safe.
Good instincts there by Cabrera. I mean, really good instincts. I mean, as soon as this ball goes down in the dirt, he's got a good secondary lead, and he's on his way to second base. Outstanding base running by Asdrubal. And had he not gotten that break, he'd have been thrown out.
Wild pitch advances the runner. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Shin-Soo Choo. And there's ball 4. First 2 Indians have reached. Second walk for Brad Penny. It's going to bring up Matt Laporta. .58 pitches now for Penny. That's tap foul at home plate, 0-1. Laporta had a single back in the second. 2 players received in that Sabathia deal in the lineup tonight for the Indians, Brantley being the other. Laporta was a 2-time SEC Player of the Year at Florida, where he hit a lot of home runs. Heading back toward the seats, out of play. 0-2 on Laporta. Penny gave up a single in the first, got a double play ball. 2 base hits in the second, no damage. Single and a walk in the third, but got a double play ball. He could really use another one right here. Laporta would not go fishing. 1-2. To left field, that's a base hit. Cabrera rounding third, they'll send him home, and he scores. The Indians are on the board as Matt Laporta picks up his second hit of the game, and it's 3-1.
And then Brad Penny was able to get ahead of Laporta. No balls and 2 strikes, and Laporta laid off 1 slider down before getting a hanging breaking ball here, and he drilled it to left field. That ball is hanging, and it's right around the belt buckle, and Steve Smith at third base, their third base coach, didn't hesitate sending Cabrera home.
So the Indians, who've had loads of trouble scoring runs, have picked up one here in the 4th inning on the 30th RBI of the season for Laporta.
Coming into play tonight, they were 7 for their last 75 with runners in scoring position.
(3-1) ball game, and now Cleveland has 6 hits. Tigers have 5. Here comes Cabrera. Orlando, that is. He also had a base hit back in the 2nd. High over the head of Kelly into left field. That's a base hit. This may get another run in. Bosch's throw is cut off. It's a base hit and an RBI for Cabrera. He is 2 for 2, and now it's a 3-2 ball game. 4 straight Indians have reached here in the 4th.
A ball apparently hit right off the plate because that took one big bounce over the head of Don Kelly in the left field.
Going to bring up Hanahan now. Still nobody out of the inning. 3 singles and a walk. He is showing bunt. Unable to get it down. 0-1. Charlie Furbush is now warming up in the Detroit bullpen, the young left-hander.
Yeah, this much we do know about the Tigers bullpen. Everybody's fresh out there, especially after the nights that Verlander pitches.
Bunted. This will move the runners up. And Penny gets the out at first base. Sacrifice for Hanahan. So you've got the go-ahead run in scoring position now at second base, and because of that, Hanahan gets the congratulations of his bench. Here is Lou Marson, the number 9 hitter.
And Tigers apparently conceding the run on the infield with 1 out, runner on third base. With the exception of Cabrera at first. He might come home if Laporta's coming home on a ground ball.
Seven Cleveland hits. They've answered the Tigers' 3-run first with a 2-run fourth, and they're still going. This will be Penny's 70th pitch of the night. And here it is. Oh, and 2 that last one at 95 from Brad. One and 2 on deck. Grady Sizemore. Marson staying alive. Marston, part of the Phillies organization before he came over in that deal for Cliff Lee. That was back in 2009. He's been a pretty good catcher in terms of defense. He's thrown out 52% this year. Trying to deliver a go-ahead hit here in the fourth inning. 2 runs in. And the 1-2. There's a drive into right field, sinking base hit. Maglio charges it. 1 run scores. And now up between third and home. Cabrera puts on the brakes and goes back. We are tied. It's a 3-3 game. Marston has his second hit. Here comes Jim Leyland. Cabrera came about halfway down the line, decided to put on the brakes. That's going to be it for Brad Penny. He gives up the baseball, and he will leave. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change. His responsibility, or the runner, I should say. And, well, there are runners, first and third. Brad Penny going 3 and a third, 8 hits, 3 runs, and he'll give way now to Charlie Furbush, who will come on out of the Tigers bullpen.
And Brad Penny was pretty good first time through the order against the Cleveland Indians, but the second time through, at least hitters 4 through 9 were able to get loose on him.
Shortest outing of the season for Brad Penny. And Furbush now will try and put out the fire here. Still only 1 out of the inning. The RBIs to Laporta, Cabrera, and Marston. The bottom of the lineup doing the damage here for Cleveland. And they still have runners at first and third. Cabrera and Marston. So Furbush, who is leading the International League in strikeouts at the time of his call up on the 21st of May, has done outstanding work out of the Detroit bullpen, especially here at home. And he'll face Sizemore. And Cleveland now can take its first lead of the game. Sizemore is single and a double play ball. He'll look at strike 1. Tigers have now been out hit 8-5 in this game.
Charlie has inherited 7 base runners this year, and not one of those have come around to score. It's pretty good.
He gets ahead 0-2. Five appearances here at home, 10 2/3 innings in this ballpark. Does not allow to run. Runner goes from first and is drilled in the air to center field. Jackson is on the run, still going back. He'll make the basket catch. Cabrera tags at third and he will score. Sizemore will get an RBI, and the Indians have taken the lead.
That was not a good 0-2 pitch by Furbush. It was a breaking ball that Avila wanted down and away, but he hung it. And the wind must have knocked it down because Jackson got on his horse. And by the time Jackson got to where he thought the ball was going to come down at, he had to circle around and catch it Willie Mays style basket catch because he basically overran it. And Sizemore is talking about that. He thought he hit that one a little bit harder.
18th RBI of the season for Sizemore, and Cleveland has a 4 spot here in the 4th. Here's Santana. All of those runs are charged to Penny, and in fact the man at first base, Marson, still his responsibility as well. Santana walking a double play ball. Fouled away. 0-1 on Santana. Back in April had an 0 for 23 stretch, which is something that he has had trouble climbing out of. Mentioned he was originally property of the Dodgers. He was signed by the Dodgers as a third baseman before the conversion to catcher. Avila blocks it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked about the trade for Casey Blake. That happened in July, right before the deadline in 2008. Up with the right hand goes Brian Runge.
Those are some of the issues that Santana has had this year. Manny Acta said he will take the fastballs that are right down the middle and simply swing at the breaking balls that are out of the strike zone. He just took a 2-1 fastball right down the heart of the plate. Furbush paying a lot of attention to Lou Morrison on first. I did not know running was part of his game.
Runner goes, and it's shot through into right field, a base hit. Marston, who was on the move, will get to third base, and Santana has an opposite field single. That is the 9th hit now for Cleveland. And so the inning continues.
Morrison was on the move, so apparently Furbush was paying a lot of attention to him for good reason.
First and third. That'll bring up the 9th man to bat in the inning, Michael Brantley. Hitting .308 this year with men in scoring position. Strike one. Brantley, a couple of ground balls, 0 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Brantley grew up in Florida and said when he went to high school, most of his friends who were the really good athletes wanted to play basketball or football. Not many really wanted to play baseball at his high school, but that was his favorite sport, so he stuck with it. And here he is. He was also a really good golfer in high school as well. Of course, his dad being a big leaguer probably had something to do with that. Wave and a miss. Furbush takes care of him on 3 pitches. So they send 9 men to the plate. Indians score 4 and lead by 1. They lead now by a score of 4-3. They've out hit the Tigers 9-5, and now Carmona will pitch with the lead for the first time. And he will face Ramon Santiago to lead it off. He promptly lines one to right field, a base hit. Leadoff man on for Detroit. And the Tigers now have 6 hits.
I don't think the Tigers, from an offensive standpoint, are panicking at the fact that they have given up the lead 4-3 with Carmona on the mound. He's given up lots of crooked numbers this year. They just need to stay patient and make sure they get good pitches to hit. And when they do, put them in play, like they have done so far.
Austin Jackson 0 for 2, fly ball and a ground out. Austin has 9 hits on this homestand. And he looks at ball 1.
And here's what the Tigers offense has done for the last 2 weeks. A record 10-4, over 5 runs a game. The batting average at .311. Lots of hits, lots of extra base hits. Really the first time the offense is kind of clicking on all cylinders this year.
There's a strike on Jackson. Well, again, it's, I think, coincided with the resurgence of this fellow right here, Austin Jackson, and the resurgence as well of Brendan Bosch, who has put together a marvelous June.
They both have gotten a lot of hits already in the month of June. They rank in the top 5 in the American League.
And what it has done is it's given Jim Leyland a couple of guys in the top 3 spots in the lineup that can run a little bit. And so when Cabrera and Martinez find the gaps, they're scoring runs. That's why Leyland has kept Bosch in that 3 spot. Aside from the fact, of course, that he's raking in the 3 spot. Runner back. Santiago has let it off with a single here in the 4th. Carmona was the Indians' lone all-star last year. He had really a bounce-back season for him, threw over 200 innings, won 13 games. This season, though, it's been much different. Just really hasn't been able to find that consistency from year to year.
Earning average really not all that bad, 3.77. Over 200 innings. He's a horse.
And his name in the past few seasons, in the offseason and in July, has come up quite a bit in trade talks.
If they fall out of the race this year, his name will come up again.
Meanwhile, the ERA has jumped to 5.71 this season. Carmona is signed through this year. The club has options for the next 3 seasons. Two and 2 on Jackson. Back out of play. Austin has had multiple hit games in 7 of his last 11, and because of that, his average has gotten to the 250 mark and beyond. Two. Don Kelly waiting on deck.
Morrison throws well. You brought that up earlier. 3-2 count. Nobody out. Jackson strikes out quite a bit, but I'd send him.
Runner goes, and it's rolled toward third. That is a foul ball. Tim McClelland indicating foul down the third base line. So we'll do it again. A lengthy at bat here for Jackson. 9th pitch in this AB coming up. 74 total pitches now for Carmona. Manny Acta's team battling back in this one. Tigers got 3 in the first. They answer with 4 in the 4th. Runner goes again, bouncing ball to short. Safe at second base and safe at first base.
Cabrera, the shortstop, gambled and lost. Bad decision by Cabrera. He should have gone to first base and taken the sure out. He thought by getting the ball to Orlando, the second baseman, they still had time to get Jackson, even though it was going to be a close play at second. and it looked like Cabrera, the second baseman, had trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and they don't get any outs.
So the Tigers have runners at first and second, nobody out, and Don Kelly coming up.
Good bunting situation right here for Jim if that's what he wants to utilize with Don Kelly.
Hanahan expecting the bunt at third, and he squares, lays it back down to the mound. He'll get the out at first base. Kelly sacrifices. Second and third, one out.
When the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live as we bring you all the highlights, reaction, and analysis. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit.
So the Tigers now in shape to at least tie this game up here with only one out. They've got their big hitters coming up. Brendan Bosch will stand in. He hit a solo shot off Carmona back in the first. It was his 9th home run of the year. Way inside. Almost hit him. Leadoff single by Santiago. Jackson reaching on a fielder's choice, and a sacrifice moves them up. Little tapper hit slowly towards second. This will get a run in. Bosch is out, but he gets an RBI. And the Tigers waste little time and time the game back up. 2 gone. Both runners move up. Santiago scores. Second RBI of the night for Bosch. Cabrera now with the go-ahead runner at third base. Miguel tonight reaching on an error and scoring in the first, trying to pick up Jackson here in the fourth. And he takes ball one way inside, 1-0. Field line, but slicing foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel Cabrera.
This situation a year ago, Cabrera would not be swinging the bat. Manny Acta, the manager of the Cleveland Indians, would have taken the luxury of walking him with a base open, 2 outs. He is hitting .429 with runners in scoring position, but number 41 in that on-deck circle has provided a lot of protection. And when they decide to walk Cabrera, he has had some of his best at-bats this year. That would be Victor.
Now it's 2-1. And Victor, who's waiting on deck, has already had a couple of doubles tonight. Carmona was given a 1-run lead, but he's given it right back. 3-1. Cabrera this year has walked 52 times already. Second highest total in the American League. Ground ball to short. Cabrera has it. And Miguel is out to end the inning. Tigers tie it up on the RBI by Bosch. 4 in the books here at Comerica. The lowest tire price period, Bell Tire. And by Nissan's National Tent Event, Big Tent, tremendous savings. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. Well, as nighttime settles in here at the ballpark, the Tigers have tied this one up in a slowly paced ball game tonight. It's a 4-4 contest as we go to the 5th inning. And Charlie Furbush is back out there, and he will face Asdrubal Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, Matt Laporta. Brad Penny taken out of the game in the 4th inning. Furbush came on and got the final 2 outs in that 4th. Cabrera tonight a single and a run scored for Cleveland. He flies the first one to left, straight at Bosch. 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring up Shin-Soo Choo. Choo had a base on balls in that big 4-run 4th. The Indians got all of their runs in that 4th inning. Tigers tonight have been out hit 9-6. You may have heard the story about Choo this past offseason. He played for South Korea in the Asian Games. They won the gold medal, and because they won the gold medal, they got a waiver on his military service. He had owed his country 2 years of military service, which they would waive if they won that gold medal, and they did. And so Choo was able to return to Cleveland and play with the Indians this year.
Hit a homer in that final game, also caught the final out, so he did his part in helping Korea win the championship.
I'm sure the Indians had a big rooting interest in that as well.
No doubt about that.
3-0 pitch. He takes a strike on the outer edge. 3 balls, 1 strike on Choo. There's a base hit to right center.
That's a dangerous count to get yourself in with Shin-Soo Choo. Even though he's only hitting 230, you try to throw a 3-1 fastball by him, and it's not going to happen. And this is what they've been waiting for Choo to get himself in some friendlier counts. It's a fastball right down the middle and drilled by Choo, who is a good fastball hitter. He's got some really quick hands.
And that'll make it an even 10 hits now for Cleveland. Here's Matt Laporta. He's had a nice night. 2 singles, a run driven in, and a run scored. Choo this year 9 steals in 12 tries.
It might be a little bit more difficult for him to steal this base with Furbush on the mound being left-handed, unless Choo just guesses and goes on first movement, which would be as soon as Charlie picks his right leg up, he's off and running. And you're hoping that the pitcher pitches instead of picks. If he pitches, you're okay. If he picks, you're going to be out.
Choo has stolen 20 or more in each of the last 2 seasons. He's well on his way to doing that again this year. In fact, he's had back-to-back 2020 seasons, homers and steals. Well, the last 4 games, the Indians had scored just 2 runs. Tonight they have 4 runs on 10 hits. The majority of that damage, all of it in terms of the runs, coming in the 4th inning. 1-1. One out single by Chu here in the 5th inning. Two and one. Furbush at Toledo this year was used as a starter, was 4-3 with a 2.91 ERA. He's made the transition to pitching out of the bullpen here in the big leagues with the Tigers. His first opportunity at pitching big league baseball. He gave up just 15 earned runs in over 46 innings of work in the AAA. Tigers called him up at the end of May 21st to be exact. And the 2-2. Whistle foul. The one thing the Tigers do not have a shortage of, and that is valuable, eligible arms in the minor leagues that have done some pretty good work down there, waiting for opportunities. We've seen Oliver come up. He's since been sent down. Furbush, Turner at AA. And again, the 2-2. Instead, he'll go to first. Three and two. There's Cabrera waiting on deck. Orlando Cabrera. He's had a couple of hits tonight. Runner goes, and it's popped up foul back out of play. Chu heads back. Just got a piece of it to stay alive, so Laporta still kicking. Tigers tonight have been out 10-6. They raced out to a 3-0 lead. Looked like they might have the rout going on early against Carmona. They got 3 in the first inning, but Carmona settled in a little bit. Then they got him 4 in the 4th. Tigers then tied it up. Second of 3 between these two teams. Tigers came in with a game lead in the center. And they'll play tomorrow to wrap up the series. Runner goes on 3-2, and it's fouled away.
Matt Laporta has had some pretty good at-bats in this game already tonight. He has singled a couple of times. He has driven in one, and he has scored a run. And both of his hits to left field.
will be the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat.
How about a strike him out, throw him out?
I'm all for that right now. Here we go. There goes the runner. And his foul straight back.
He's getting some real good swings with 2 strikes. Really good swings. Porter's a big boy. Look at those arms. Forearms. Forearms like Popeye. Must be eating his spinach.
And another throw back to first. Runner holds this time, swing and a miss. Finally, after a lengthy battle, Laporta is out of there. 11 pitch at bat. 2 gone. Well, we gave you enough time. Here's the AT&T trivia question again. Who is the only pitcher with more 10 or more strikeout games than Justin Verlander since '07? Over in the National League, that would be Tim Lincecum, who had 29 games. Verlander with 18.
Really?
That's a wide margin.
I was way off. I guessed Weaver.
I guess King Felix, neither one of those guys on the list. So here comes Orlando Cabrera. Verlander now back-to-back 10 strikeout games with his performance last night. Cabrera 2 for 2, singled in a run in that 4-run fourth. Ball 1. Orlando Cabrera was signed as a free agent in February. He's got 2 Gold Gloves to his credit. Been around a long time. We mentioned earlier this year, picked up his 2000th career hit.
Orlando Cabrera has had a nice big league career, which started in Montreal. Tremendous player there. And he has been in the postseason quite often lately. It seems like wherever he lands, that team gets into the postseason. So I guess you can call him a money player. It's a good player.
Runner bluffing, line drive, fair ball down the left field line. Chu coming to third base. Now it's going to go to the corner. This will get a run in. Shin-Soo Choo comes around to score. And the Indians have their 5th run of the game.
And what happened here? Looked like Brennan was going over to maybe cut that ball off, and it ricocheted off of the bottom of that fence down there and got to the warning track.
Meanwhile, Cabrera has his 9th double of the year. The Indians have taken a 5-4 lead.
He's got 3 hits today.
Here's Jack Hanahan. There's a strike on the inside corner to Hanahan. Of course, it was Cabrera that broke up the no-hit bid by Verlander last night. So hits in each of his 4 at-bats, his last 4 at-bats. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hanahan. 2-out, 2-base hit by Orlando Cabrera has broken the 4-4 tie. Meanwhile, Furbush has allowed his first earned run at home this year. We talked about the streak he had going coming in. 10 2/3 scoreless innings. But they've gotten him here with a run in the 5th. And the 2-1. 3-1. Tiger pitching tonight, including Penny and Furbush, have thrown 108 pitches combined, and we're only in the 5th inning. Here's the 3-1. There is a walk. Hanahan is aboard. The first walk issued by Furbush. And here comes Rick Knapp. He'll chat it over now with the young left-hander.
Hey fans, don't miss the final game of this series against the Indians tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And hopefully after a Tigers win tomorrow, we'll make that long flight out to Colorado a little bit better.
That's the hope. In the meantime, Daniel Schlereth is starting to warm up. Of course, the Tigers have 4 lefties in their bullpen, so Leland has a few of those at his disposal.
Jim says he probably has 1, maybe 2 too many left-handers in his bullpen.
The only other time really you see that many lefties in a pen is in September when you've got all the call-ups.
Correct.
And occasionally you'll have a few more. So here's Lou Marson with 2 on and 2 out. 5-4. Cleveland has taken the lead. Strike 1. Marson had a single that drove in a run back in the 4th. 2 for 2 for the number 9 hitter.
It was a nice visit by Rick Knapp. I don't know exactly what he said to Furbush, but Furbush has had a tough time locating his fastball. He may have told him to start Marson off with a breaking ball, which he did, and he threw a strike with it.
Cabrera was bluffing off the bag at second base. Put on the brakes.
Back-to-back breaking balls, as a matter of fact, to Lou Marson. Sometimes when you have a pitcher that's having a difficult time of throwing his fastball for a strike, you call a changeup or you call a breaking ball. It's a concentration pitch, and it forces the pitcher into concentrating a little bit more, and sometimes it gets him back on track.
And the 0-2.
Ugh.
A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Furbush now has thrown 39 pitches. He took over last inning, the 4th inning, for Brad Penny. Had to get the final 2 outs. Grounded foul.
Furbush's role has pretty much been as the long man in Jim Leland's bullpen. If the starter doesn't go very long in the game, as Penny did not do today, then Furbush will come in, and just about every outing that he's gone out there, he'll go 2, he'll go 3. And if he keeps the score right where it's at, then his job is done very well and allow the offense to wake up and come back in the game. Jim doesn't buy into the theory of the long man in his bullpen, who is usually the 12th man on the staff, being a mop-up guy. He doesn't buy into that. He says, I want him to come in and stop the other team from scoring and allow our offense to somehow possibly come back in the game.
Well, you see it happen at least a couple of times a year where you fall down by a few runs early and a guy comes in, all of a sudden you win a ball game that you otherwise would not have won. So it's worth a few wins a year.
Their offense kind of thinks that they're going to win the game, and they slow down. They don't concentrate as more. Next thing you know, the other team's gotten right back in it.
1-2 on Marson. Fly ball, right field. Ordonez under it. And that is that. They get a run to take the lead, and you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Tonight for Cleveland, and here is a comparison between the Indians and the Tigers, who obviously have been going in a different direction than Cleveland has.
That's one of the reasons why the Tigers have been able to take over first place, and because of the poor numbers the Indians have posted since May 24th.
So Victor Martinez will lead things off here against Fausto Carmona. It'll be Martinez, Ordonez, and Avila. 6 runs make it 5 runs on 11 hits for the Indians. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Tigers. 1-run game. Martinez, couple of doubles and a run scored. And Carmona dips one low and away.
And both of Martinez's doubles today have been the opposite way.
His average now is up to .325.
He has been as good as advertised.
Victor looks at a strike, 1-1.
This is how you hit .325, when you spread the baseball around the way that he has spread it around. Foul line to foul line from both sides of the dish. And not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. As a matter of fact, Victor believes he's a better hitter when he has 2 strikes on him, and there's not a lot of guys in the major leagues that would confess to that.
Victor was quite a hitter in the minor leagues with the Indians when he was coming up. In the major league level, he's a career .300 hitter on the dot. There's a strike called, 1-2.
Good breaking ball there from Carmona. That backdoor variety.
So there's the 2-strike count on Martinez.
And we'll see what he does with it this time. Last time he was up in a 2-strike count as well, and he doubled down in the left field corner. Wow.
319, awfully good. Not that time, though, as Carmona strikes him out.
We didn't jinx him, did we?
Apparently so.
But if you put up most guys' numbers with 2 strikes, the batting average around the league is 100 points lower than Victor Martinez's batting average at .319.
So here comes Ordonez with one out. Maglio on base twice, single and a walk.
The league average is 177.
With two strikes?
With two strikes. Wow. So he's 319. Polanco used to be good with two strikes, too.
He was outstanding. A different type hitter, though.
He was over 300. Victor says his concentration level goes up a whole lot more when he's got two strikes. And the numbers kind of back it up. He's upset with himself for striking out.
And that's part of the issues that DHs have to deal with, going back to the bench and waiting for your next at bat. Meanwhile, chewing over the last one.
Maglio was trying to play long ball with that last swing. He knows that Carmona, for the most part all night, has been pounding him aggressively inside with that good moving two-seam fastball. That time he cleared his hips out of the way and he tried to hit the ball into that Tigers bullpen.
Line drive right at Hanahan.
Maglio has hit 4 bullets since coming back from the minor leagues on that rehab assignment, and he only has 1 hit to show for it. If he continues to swing the bat like this, and then Jim Leyland will get the hitter that he's been talking about, his number 3 hitter back.
2 up, 2 down here in the 5th. That'll bring up Avila. Alex 1 for 1 plus a walk. His 2-run single sparked the 3-run first inning for Detroit. Wave and a miss, 0-1. Tigers tonight have been limited to 6 hits by Carmona. 3 of them came in the first inning.
With Carmona, it's never ever been a question of whether he has the stuff or not to be a really good big league pitcher. He just has not thrown a lot of strikes this year.
Carmona has lost 5 straight decisions. His last win was on May the 3rd over Oakland.
Told you his last outing against the New York Yankees, he threw 93 pitches, only 45 strikes in that game. And you know you can't do that against the Yankees.
No, not at all. They'll eat you alive doing that. 2-1.
That wasn't a bad pitch by Carmona. He thought it was a strike. It's a changeup. He hasn't thrown many changeups today. It's a hard changeup too. 85 miles an hour.
Two-one pitch. On the ground, base hit. Avila, 2 more hits tonight. He's been something else.
Take a look at Avila's hands and how quickly they get through the strike zone. He's got a nice base. Foot goes up, goes down, but look at the hand quickness. I mean, he just gets the ball through the hitting zone in a hurry, and that top hand is always palm up when he makes contact. And that's something that McClendon always preaches. Palm up with the top hand.
Here's Johnny Peralta. That's the 7th Tigers hit.
A little late night coffee for the skipper tonight. He's going to be up for a while.
It's been a slowly paced game.
I think he only drinks decaf, though.
Does he?
Uh-huh. I think.
Well, that's not going to help them.
Yeah, because I was having breakfast in Texas, and the skipper walked in, and he ordered decaf, and it was pretty early in the morning. So unless he already had a few cups upstairs before he came downstairs.
That's possible.
And he's a decaf drinker.
One and one on Johnny. Ground ball and a fly ball. He is 0 for 2. Johnny about a year removed now from playing with the Indians. They acquired him at the deadline last year. And it'll go to 2-1 on Peralta.
And about a year and a half removed from that shortstop position when he was with Cleveland. Of course, he came to the Tigers as a third baseman. When Brandon got healthy, they simply shuffled him to short, and Peralta hasn't looked back.
Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. No. I give up. 2-2. McClellan got me, I don't know, 2 or 3 times last night.
McClellan gets everybody, though.
Runge is not that much quicker behind the plate, I've learned.
McClellan rubbing off on him.
I'm going to wait. That's a ball. 3-2. Wait a minute. He still might call it a strike. Hang on. I'm joking. Runner will be moving here. That's Sevilla. 3-2 the count with 2 outs.
Carmona had 100 pitches in the 5th inning. 100.
Fouled off. It's been that kind of night. I mean, the totals for the 2 Tigers pitchers over 100 in the 5th inning, and Carmona's done that by himself. 102. Of course, that 33 pitch first inning will set you on the way to doing that. So we'll crank it up again. Avila will be on the move at first base. He is aboard with a 2-out single. Got him. Straight 3. Peralta doesn't like it, but he's out of there. And Carmona gets a strikeout to end the inning. We go to the 6th. In the Central Division have really taken a turn from the 23rd of May to tonight.
How about Minnesota? They were 15.5 back at that point, and now just 10 back. So don't go to sleep on Minnesota.
And certainly don't go to sleep on Chicago. And it'll be an interesting fight. Tigers right now with a game lead. They trail by a run here tonight as we go to the 6th inning, and Daniel Schlereth is the new pitcher.
We don't usually see Daniel this early in a ball game, but Jim needs a little length out of his bullpen today, with Penny going 3+ in tonight's game, followed by Furbush.
Of Grady Sizemore, the first man to face him. And he swings on the first pitch and skies it to center field where Jackson is positioned. One pitch, one away.
Thank you very much.
We love that. We'll bring up Santana. Schlereth, the third Tigers pitcher tonight. Santana's been on base twice. Single walk. He's also hit into a double play.
He doesn't get cheated when you throw it close to the plate. He takes a huge swing.
One ball, one strike. I mentioned earlier that Santana is Dominican. And of course, he didn't grow up in the Cleveland system. He came up in the Dodgers organization. There's that big swing you're talking about, 1-2. But the Indians have really made a big investment into a new baseball academy they have in the Dominican Republic. And the Indians through the years have had a long working relationship with the Dominican. A lot of their players over the years have been Dominican born, guys like Manny and Bartolo Colon. 1-2 is swung on and missed, and Santana is out of there.
That has been the issues with Santana this year. He took the first pitch fastball right down the middle, and then he swung wildly at a couple of breaking balls from Daniel Schlereth. Although Schlereth does have a legitimate swing and miss curveball. It's an outstanding pitch. So the Indians just got an academy.
Well, no, they had one, but they had just pumped in a lot more money into a new academy. I mean, they've gone back to like the 50s when Rico Carty came out of their academy.
So they were a little bit ahead of the game then.
A little bit. And they've gotten some good players from that country. No balls, one strike.
I know Major League Baseball has a couple of academies now. One's in South Central Los Angeles. They have another academy they just opened up in Houston, Texas as well.
Chopper hit to the second baseman, Santiago.
Talk about that a little bit more next half inning.
Meanwhile, Brantley is hurt, but he is out. 1-2-3 inning. Haven't had one of those in a long time.
Light freeze can back in the third inning. Cabrera started a 3-6-1 double play. But take a look at the footwork here, Cabrera, how he starts to get his feet into position to throw before he even gets the ball in his glove. That's a nice job. You can see his body turning, which takes very little effort, getting the ball to Peralta, back to Brad Penny. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Pretty good instructional video there.
Very nicely done by Miguel. And you'll see a lot of the middle infielders and even the third baseman, when they have time to do so, they always start to get their feet and body positioning toward the area that they're going to throw the ball. Just to finish that thought that I had after we take a look at Rafael Perez's numbers, which are really, really good this year, on some of the academies now being built in the United States for some of the inner city kids to keep them involved in baseball. I mean, they supply all the bats, all the balls and gloves and all of these other things that they provide for the kids because the parents in some of those inner cities can't afford them, much like the kids in Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I would say that's a worthwhile investment wherever they can do it, no doubt, to promote the game of baseball.
There used to be a lot of players playing in the big leagues that were born in the inner cities, in respective cities.
Well, the Tigers need to get the offense going again. They're down by a run as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Santiago, then Jackson, then Kelly facing Perez, the new pitcher. 5 innings of work tonight for Carmona.
Their bullpen has been one of their strengths this year. Well, really, it's probably been their best asset, their bullpen. They've got some guys that have really done some nice work, and Perez would be one of those guys. Pretty much a fastball and a slider and a good breaking ball.
Bullpen has an ERA of 3.41.
I think that's 3rd in the American League.
A little bit of a light rain was falling at the ballpark. It still is. Got a few umbrellas popping up here and there, but nothing threatening in terms of weather. Just a little bit of sprinkles. Some folks,
Grandpa taking care of the little one.
They came prepared. Santiago singling a ground out. And he drives one down the left field line, hooking, and it is foul.
Yes, indeed. They rank 3rd in the American League, behind New York and Oakland.
Oh, 0-2 on Santiago. Got him, strike 3. Santiago has some words for Brian Runge. First strikeout for Rafael Perez. What do you think?
Well, it's belt buckle high. I don't know if Santiago thought it was inside or not. The way that he jacked a knife out of the way, he must have thought it was inside, but it looked like it had a little bit of plate.
Here's Jackson.
Santiago's going to go look at it right now.
That's something Jim was talking about, I don't know, about a month or so ago. We were talking about hitting. He said, man, these days, guys are taking a bat, and the first thing they do is go right down that tunnel, right into the video room.
And take a look at it.
And have a peek. 0 for 3 for Austin Jackson. Rolled foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Austin Jackson has done some of his best work in his career against Cleveland pitching. .379 career batting average against the Tribe.
Indians bullpen in charge of, at this point at least, protecting a very slim 1-run lead. Perez missing outside. 70 appearances out of the Cleveland pen last year, and Perez was as good as it got. He was 6-1. ERA a little bit over 3. Although he walked a few more than they would have liked. 2 balls, 2 strikes. When you get a guy coming out of the pen reaching the 70 mark in appearances, you know you're doing something right. For the skipper to keep running you out that many times.
He does it every year too, since 2007.
Two and two. We'll get fouled back out of play. Bullpens on a yearly basis are so hard to quantify and what you're going to get. The Tigers, of course, had plans coming out of spring training of having guys like Perry and Zamaya and Benoit and Valverde at the back end of theirs. Well, Joel got hurt again in spring training. Perry has had his struggles. He's in the minor leagues. Other guys, though, have stepped in. Sharp one hopper to the shortstop, Cabrera. Two gone.
Hey fans, coming Friday, don't miss our brand new edition of Tigers Weekly as our crew tagged along for behind the scenes access during their recent road trip to Chicago. It's Tigers Weekly on the road, premiering Friday at 6 and 7:30 p.m. here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Was that you flying the plane?
No, that wasn't me.
No.
Sure. Yeah.
Alex Avila taking a cab ride with John Keating, and you'll get some insights there as well. Should be a fun show to watch. 2 outs for Don Kelly. Fouled straight back 0-1.
It was nice of the Tigers management and players to allow the access to put that feature together for our fans. Different look.
It seems like one of the questions we constantly get from fans is, what is it like to travel? And they want to know, do you guys fly on a charter? Do you fly commercial? What it's like at the hotels? This will give you a little bit of an insight there.
Well, for us common men, it's no different than everybody else that travels. But for a man like yourself, being the rock star that you are, we got to go in the back door and different things like that.
I get to go in the front door. I don't know where you go. 0-2. The common man. I will say this: travel, though, at the big league level is
it's nice.
It is nice.
It's nice.
Borderline cushy, which makes those 5-hour flights out to the West Coast a little bit easier to handle.
No reason to complain about anything.
More action in the bullpen. Joe Smith is warming up for Cleveland. Oh, and 2 on Kelly. He laid off. 1 and 2 on Don, who had a sacrifice which set up a run in the 4th.
Well, more than likely he's going to get that slider again from Perez. That's the pitch that he likes to throw, especially to the left-handed batters. Here she comes. And he laid off of it again.
2 and 2. On deck is Bosch. He'll get a turn if Kelly keeps it going here. Carmona went the first 5. Perez here in the 6th. Popped him up. Cabrera, the shortstop, under it. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Rafael Perez. On to the 7th we go. Probably going to have something to do with these two guys. It does. AL shortstop home run leaders. Asdrubal Cabrera 12 home runs. Johnny Peralta has 9. The last Indian shortstop to lead the American League in homers from that position, Johnny Peralta, 23 back in 2008. And here's some more numbers among the shortstops in the American League this year. Both of these guys ranking really, really high.
Well, both players deserve to be on the American League All-Star team this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think Cabrera is a lock for the team, and Johnny should be too with the way that he's played this year. There's been no other shortstops better.
So it's a one-run game, 5-4. Schlereth will pitch his second inning as we go to the 7th. 5 runs, 11 hits for the Indians. Tigers 4 runs, 7 hits. And it'll be Asdrubal Cabrera to lead it off. He'll be followed by Shin-Soo Choo and then Matt Laporta. Schlereth had himself a 1-2-3 6th. Cabrera shows bunt, low and away. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike at the knees. 1-1 as Asdrubal Cabrera. Schlereth came on in the 6th inning, got 3 outs. It was the first time since the 1st inning when the Indians sent the minimum to the plate in a frame. Brad Penny started this one. He was knocked out of the game in the 4th as you see Al Albuquerque warming up. Under the watchful eye of Jeff Jones. There's a strike call. 2-2 on Cabrera.
With that last strike that was called by Brian Runge, and appeared he had a little bit of a beef.
Swing and a miss. Schlereth now has retired 4 straight, 2 of them via the strikeout. 1 out.
And good bender here by Schlereth, and I don't know if Cabrera is upset at the 4th pitch that was called a strike or the fact that he swung at that breaking ball that was in the dirt. Probably a little both.
Shin-Soo Choo coming up. Choo in this one has been on base twice and has scored both times. Ball 1. Line to left field, going to be trouble. It's down there, a fair ball. Bosch has it roll off his glove, and to the wall it goes. Choo will round the bag aggressively, but he'll stand in at second base.
That will be an error on Brennan Bosch. Don't know if he looked up to see where the runner was or not, but you got to catch that ball. That's a single for Choo, but once the ball was misplayed by Brennan, he was able to get to second.
Single E7. So the Indians have done most of their damage at the bottom of the lineup. Their 6 through 9 hitters have been busy tonight. At 4 RBI, 7 for 10. Looks like Schlereth is going to come out of this game. You've got Laporta coming up there, and you've got Albuquerque heating up. And the skipper takes the baseball. So we've got a pitching change here in the 7th. Tigers go to the pen. We step aside in a 1-run game. However, the Indians are threatening here in the 7th inning. So the Tigers have gone to the bullpen, and they brought in a guy that has done some really good work this year, Al Albuquerque.
Well, the first hitter he will see will be Matt Laporta, and with the skill set and the pitches that Albuquerque features, a 97-mile-per-hour fastball and a slider that is one of the best out of any bullpen in the majors so far this year. He can get a strikeout here.
So he will face Laporta after the single in the air put Shin-Soo Choo at second base, and a big run standing out there.
Tim McClellan was trying to say something to Albuquerque, and apparently Albuquerque didn't quite understand what Mr. McClellan was saying, so the interpreter, Ramon Santiago, had to hustle in from his second base position to find out what's going on.
Something on his elbow? A Band-Aid or something? Now, if you're a hitter, would that bother you if there's a Band-Aid on somebody's elbow?
Yeah, if it's white. Yeah, I mean, that could bother you.
Oh, there you go. So they made him take it off.
I don't know if anybody said anything or if that was just McClellan, and because he's the crew chief, handling the situation.
So here comes Laporta. Two singles and an RBI tonight for Laporta. Twelve hits tonight for the Cleveland Indians.
Usually when Albuquerque comes into a game, he throws that first slider, a little get-me-over slider, not the nasty one that he threw there on the first pitch to Laporta. And the bottom fell out of that first pitch.
Choo at second base with one out. Indians trying to add to their one-run lead. That'll get away from Avila. Rolls all the way to the backstop. Alex has to run it down. Somebody needs to cover home, and finally they track the baseball down. So move Choo up. Wild pitch advances him. And that's his fourth.
He really needs the strikeout now.
Two and one. Tigers have drawn the infield in here late in this game. One run right now, 5-4. They're not all the way in. Slice back out of play. 2-2 the count on Matt Laporta. Albuquerque replacing Schlereth, who faced 5 batters and retired 4 of them. And the 2-2. Little tapper hit slowly toward third. Here comes Choo trying to score, and he will. Don Kelly throws out Laporta, but they get a big run in to make it a 6-4 ball game.
That is a good at-bat for Laporta. He's going to get lots of high fives when he gets back in his dugout with the strikeout rate that Albuquerque has been striking right-handers out with this year. For him just to put that ball in play is a good job by him.
He's got a big smile saying, well, it wasn't impressive, but it's an RBI. 2 outs now, bases empty. It'll bring up Orlando Cabrera. They've not gotten him out tonight. 3 hits, 2 RBIs, run scored. It's the first inherited runner that Albuquerque has allowed to score. Grounded foul, third base side. He was 14 of 14 prior to Chu coming in.
Part of it was to his own doing. The wild pitch.
That moved Chu from second to third, and he then scored on the soft ground ball. Here's the 1-1 to the shortstop. Nice play by Peralta to cut it off. Cabrera's out. First time they've gotten him tonight. Another run in, though, for the Indians. Stretch time here at the ballpark. MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com if you would indeed like more details. And they're texting away in the truck. Well, we've got a new pitcher now for the Cleveland Indians. Mr. Perez is out of the game. Vinny Pestano is the new pitcher now for the Tribe.
They got some pretty nice earned run averages that they run out of that bullpen, especially at the back end of that bullpen, and Pestano is no different. 1.61 earned run average, and the opponent's batting average is under 200 against Vinny.
Vincent William Pestano, who was born in Newport Beach, California. And we will see now if the Cleveland bullpen can hold this lead. It has grown to a 2-run lead, 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Bosch, Cabrera, Martinez, the heart of the Tigers lineup, facing Pestano. Brennan tonight has 2 RBIs, homered to drive one into the first, and his bounce out scored another in the 4th. Ball 1 outside to Bosch. Seems like every night his June numbers just continue to climb and climb and climb. 36 RBIs overall this year. But a good portion of his damage has come here in June. The 1-0. Light rain still falling here at the ballpark. It never really got heavy. The 2-0 pitch, and he's taking. It's a strike. Tigers tonight have been limited to 7 hits by the Cleveland staff. Carmona started. Perez came on in the 6th, and now Pistano in the 7th. Here's the 2-1. Make it 3-1.
Pistano's got a pretty firm fastball from that arm slot that he throws from. Low 3/4 arm slot. Kind of slings the baseball up to home plate, but velocity pretty good at 93 miles an hour.
And he missed outside. Leadoff walk. That's a good start here in the 7th.
That is probably the biggest difference this year in Bosch and last year. Very patient, and he's been patient all year, getting into good counts, and he will take the walk if you walk him.
'22nd walk of the year for Mr. Bosch. Here's Cabrera. And there's a strike. 0-1.
Against pitchers like Pistano, guys that have natural sink on their fastballs that run inside to the right-handed hitters. And Cabrera simply tries to hit these guys the opposite way.
Bouncing ball up the middle, though. This looks like a double play. Taylor made. 6-4-3. 2 gone. Gonna bring up Victor Martinez. It's been a pretty good night tonight for Victor. He's had a couple of doubles, and he has scored a run. Martinez struck out in his last at bat of the 5th inning. That was in Carmona's final inning of the night. If the Indians can hang on to this one, it would be Carmona's first win since May the 3rd, but there's a long way to go. Fly ball hit well right field. This one is tagged. Chu will go to the warning track and run it down in a little bit of a mini curl out there in right field. No runs and a hit. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. On top 6-4. Brennan Bosch has a solo home run. 5 of his 9 homers have been hit this month here in June. Cabrera's had a big game. Orlando, that is, for The Indians 3 out of 4, and the Indians 6 through 9 hitters, the bottom of their lineup, doing the majority of the damage tonight. 7 for 12 against Tigers pitching. And speaking of Tigers pitching, the new pitcher is left-hander David Percy.
His combined work is not bad this year. He's had 3 different stops: Toronto, Oakland, now here in the Motor City, compiling 19 games, respectable earned run average, and the opponent's batting average is under 200 against David Percy.
So the Indians coming up. Hanahan, Marson, and Sizemore here in the top of the 8th inning. 6-4.
How about these splits, though?
Don't make sense, do they?
I mean, 345 against left-handers, and then in righties they're only hitting them at 104. It's supposed to be the other way around.
It is an odd split for Percy, who will face a left-handed batter here to begin things in the 8th.
48 at bats against right-handers. They are 5 for 48 for that 104 batting average.
Ground ball back up the middle into center field. So the numbers continue to hold true. The left-hander gets a hit off Percy. That'll bring up Lou Marson.
That's something that I'm sure Rick Knapp is paying attention to, that number, and trying to figure out a way for him to make some quality pitches against left-handed batters.
Two for 3 for Marson, couple of singles.
If bunting is part of his game, he might be up there bunting. That's why the throw over from Percy. They don't quite know whether Marson will bunt or not, but they wanted to see.
No sacrifices this year to this point for Marson. And he's showing bunt. Lays one down in front of the plate. Vila throws him out. Hanahan gets to second base on the sacrifice. So that's his first of the year. Now Sizemore a chance to drive him in. Grady a single and a sac fly to knock in a run. Tigers tonight have been out hit 13-7. They trail 6-4 in the 8th. Ground ball right side. Santiago throws out Sizemore, advanced the runner to third. 2 away. That'll set up Carlos Santana. These two teams close out the series tomorrow. Scherzer and Talbot at 1:05. Then it's on to Colorado. Take on the Rockies. Even though he's having a bad year, the Tigers will get Ubaldo Jimenez in that series against the Rocks.
He's having a bad year.
1-7.
Oh, really?
For a guy that throws 100 miles an hour. 4.63 ERA.
Looked like he was going to win the Cy Young last year as well. First half of the season, he was tremendous. Struggled down the stretch, and Roy Halladay got hot and won the Cy Young in the National League.
Right back to Percy, and that'll end the inning. So no damage done, no runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. strength and stability since 1849. Wallside Windows. For a free and home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Well, let's take a look at most of the damage the Tigers did. It was back in the first inning. They scored 3. Brennan Bosch with 2 outs homered, followed by an error by the third baseman Hanahan. A double by Martinez the opposite way, and Avila singled in a couple of runs. So that's most of the damage the Tigers have done, but they have scored 1 more run in this game. It was in the 4th. And Brennan Bosch drove in Santiago with a ground ball.
So it'll be Ordonez to lead it off, and Avila, and then Peralta facing Vinny Pestano. And Maglio says, come on with that one. He thought it was high. Steps out, a little bit of a silent protest. 6-4, Cleveland in the lead. Ordonez tonight, a single and a walk. He's 1 for 2. Wave and a miss, 0-2 on Ordonez. Pestano gave up a walk in the 7th, but got a double play ball from Cabrera. The count stays. Maglio hit a screamer his last time up, a line drive right at Jack Hanahan. Tony Sipp, the left-hander, is throwing in the bullpen for the Indians.
And the actor is doing everything that he possibly can to get the ball to his closer, Perez. And so far, they've done nice work.
The Indians broke the tie with a run in the 5th and 1 in the 7th. Cleveland trying to get back into a first-place tie with the Tigers. Another foul by Ordonez.
Pestano's got a good arm. A really good arm. But you look around baseball, and just about every member of every team's bullpen, there's 2 or 3 guys that have fastballs in the mid-90s. Just the way it is these days.
Swing and a miss, and he gets Ordonez with a 95-mile-an-hour heater. So Sipp was warming up for Avila. Here comes Manny Acta. And it appears he's going to want the lefty to face Avila here. He'll take the baseball from Pestano, who does good work tonight out of their bullpen. Another pitching change here at Comerica in a 6-4 game. We'll be back.
This summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station.
Verlander on his way there after another thrilling performance last night. Tony Sipp has come on now for the Cleveland Indians.
Ooh, look what he's doing against left-handers. A bingo number. 088.
Meanwhile, Avila came into this game batting .289 against lefties.
That's outstanding. Tony Sipp against all odds. 45th round draft choice back in 2004. And he's had a nice stay in the big league so far. He's been doing some pretty good work for Cleveland. Pretty good arm. Low 90s fastball. Nice little breaking ball.
Avila's had a nice night. 2 hits, a walk, 2 RBIs. His average right now at .304.
When the season started, the plan for Avila was not to play all that much against left-handed pitching.
Those numbers we quoted will tend to make you change that philosophy.
Jim was going to use Maglio as the DH on days when left-handers pitched. And Victor Martinez would go behind the plate, and then he would pick which outfielders he would want to put in the outfield. But Avila getting most of the reps, even against left-handers these days.
Here's the 1-1.
I saw Avila taking some ground balls at third base today, and he did not have a third baseman's glove. He had a third baseman's glove, and he was fielding them like he meant business, throwing the ball across the diamond.
The thought is, with interleague play coming up, Avila, who knows, may see some action at third base to keep his bat in the lineup. And the position is not foreign to him. Obviously, at the major league level, it is. But he played third in college at Alabama for a couple of years.
Tigers will play 6 straight games in National League cities.
And when you don't have the DH, sometimes you got to be creative, especially when your designated hitter is one of your better hitters in the lineup, Victor Martinez. So finding a way to get both Martinez and Avila, who has also been one of the team's better hitters, into the game is challenging.
No doubt about that.
Do you think Alex could handle third base?
I don't know.
That's tough.
I don't know.
3-2 pitch. Rolled foul.
I've never seen Avila play any infield position, so it'd be kind of hard for me to know how he would handle himself as we get a look at the upcoming schedule. A lot of National League play for a couple of weeks.
Tigers also better enjoy that off day on the 23rd. They've had a couple of off days in the month of June.
That'll be their first one in 20 straight days. And then after that day, 17 more.
Inside, a walk. And Avila is on. So that'll bring up Peralta. Johnny tonight is 0 for 3, struck out in his last at bat. Time called now, and Marston runs out to the mound. Tying run coming to the plate here, with only 1 out in the 8th. Avila, meanwhile, has reached base for the 4th time tonight. 2 singles, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Joe Smith is up again in their bullpen.
The sidewinder.
Fly ball right field. Shin-Soo Choo under it. 2 gone. And that'll leave it up to Santiago here in the 8th. This has really been one of those grind 'em out games. Tigers led 3-0. Indians went ahead 4-3. Tigers tied it up, and Indians scored a couple more to go ahead. Santiago 1 for 3, singled, scored in the 4th. Ball 1 from Sip. Gave you those bullpen numbers a little bit earlier. The Indians had a lot of their success early in the year, largely because of that bullpen. A 3.41 earned run average. And 11 wins out of Maniacta's bullpen. Strike on the outer edge on Santiago. 1-1. One and two. So Chris Perez, who closes games for the Indians, is now throwing in the bullpen. We would prefer to have Sip just get the final out here and get him in to start a clean inning in the bottom of the 9th. He's got 16 saves. Swing and a tip into the glove to strike him out, and Tony Sip ends the inning with a strikeout of Santiago. Do it, and Minnesota, who many thought were going to be dead, Rod, all of a sudden 9.5 out right now, which is still a large deficit, but they're kind of crawling back into it.
Well, you knew they would play some good baseball before it was all said and done, especially under their manager Ron Gardenhire. He would accept nothing other than a 100% of their divided attention on every single day they take the baseball field.
Well, they put Justin Morneau on the disabled list with a wrist injury today, so he's out, yet they continue their role.
Their pitching has gotten a whole lot better, and that's one of the reasons, the main reason, why they've been able to somewhat turn their year around. But they got to get to 500 before they really are taken seriously.
Yeah, they got a long way to go yet. Here it is 6-4 as we play in the ninth inning. Michael Brantley leads it off for Cleveland. And Percy misses high. 2 balls, no strikes. Brantley, Asdrubal Cabrera, and Shin-Soo Choo.
If all goes well for Percy, he'll get a chance to see a couple of left-handed bats in this ninth inning. And they need to figure out some of those issues as to why left-handers are hitting well above 300 against him.
Meanwhile, 3-0 on Brantley. Michael tonight has put the ball on the ground 3 times. 0 for 4. There's a strike called, 3-1. Just to finish up on the Twins, on June the 2nd, they were 15.5 outs. And 13 days later, they're 9.5 outs. The 3-1. 3-2 on Brantley.
If the Twins come back and win this division, there's a whole lot more parity in baseball than I ever imagined.
Leland and the Tigers have other plans. Tigers came in with a game lead over Cleveland. Three and 2. And he got him, strike 3. So from 3-0 to 3-2, and he strikes him out.
Last pitch was an 82-mile-per-hour fast breaking ball taken by Brantley. I don't know where Brantley thought that was going to end up at, but it got quite a bit of play.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Strike 1 on Asdrubal. Guess Joe Mauer is supposed to return on Friday as well for the Minnesota Twins. That'll give them a big boost.
That's good for baseball. He's a very popular player. Some of his national commercials are hilarious.
Yeah, they are funny. They have pretty good acting skills too. 1-1. Popped up. Shallow right field. Santiago calling for it. 2 gone. Percy has retired 5 straight. Shin-Soo Choo steps in.
Choo's had a nice night. Really nice day for Choo. A couple of singles, a walk. He scored 3 times.
In the bottom of the ninth, the Tigers will have the top of the order. Jackson, Kelly, and Bosch. Ball 1.
This Indians team, I guess a lot of people kind of giving up on them now with their recent struggles, but once they get Hafner back, if they get their pitching, their starting pitching sorted out once again, and Choo gets hot, they'll be right there to the end as well.
There's a strike called, 1-1.
But they got to get this guy right here hot.
Back to the levels that he had posted the last couple of years. Choo came into this game batting just .231.
Another good count to hit in.
3-1.
He's been in these types of counts all day long, and that's the reason why he's had a good day. Makes a big difference.
Laporta waiting on deck. Checked it. Strike call. 3-2. Percy came on to pitch the 8th, replacing Albuquerque. Schlereth has pitched tonight. So has Furbush. And a bouncing ball to second. Santiago has it. 1-2-3 inning for Percy. That is set up hopefully a Tiger comeback in the bottom of the 9th. Will have the top of the lineup against the closer. Park, Tigers need 2 to tie, 3 to win. 6-4 is our score, and they'll have to do it against Chris Perez.
And Perez has saved 16 games this year. He's only blown 1, and he's converted 10 straight in 26 of 27 if you want to go all the way back to last year.
So Perez will face a pinch hitter to start things off. Jackson will not bat for the Tigers. Instead, Dirks will pinch hit for Austin.
Dirks played some really good baseball last night. He was 3 for 4, and he had a couple of ribbies.
Kelly and then Bosch. Here in the 9th inning, Dirks looks at strike 1. Andy in last night's ball game had 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and a steal. He'll try and get something rolling here against Chris Perez. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Wow, good pitch. He'll go 96, 97 with the fastball, and all the way down to 94 with his 84 with the slider.
And the 0-2. Got him. Strike 3. A 3-pitch out. Dirks is retired. 1 away. And bring up Don Kelly. 1 base runner is all it takes to bring the tying run to the plate. Kelly tonight is 0 for 3, and he looks at strike 1. 96 miles an hour. Perez working quickly. Strike call. 0-2. Kelly 0 for 3 with a sacrifice. Perez, I mean, he gets his sign and he is starting his movement to the plate as soon as he gets the sign. He doesn't mess around. One, two. Swing and a miss. See you later. 2 gone. Couple of strikeouts for Perez. He's looking dominant right now.
It is now time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, and we have to take you all the way back to the first inning. It was 2 outs, and Fausto Carmona was the starter for the Cleveland Indians, and Brennan Bosch hit one where the grass doesn't grow.
Bosch a homer and a ground out to provide a couple of RBIs. 1 ball, no strikes on Brennan. If he can keep it going, Cabrera would be next. Tigers tonight have been out hit 13-7. They trail by 2 runs in the 9th with 2 outs, nobody on. You may recall Perez struck out the side Sunday when the Indians beat the Yankees 1-0 to record the save in that game. And the 2-1. Fouled back by Bosch, who had a big rip. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perez had 23 saves last year out of their bullpen, a sparkling 1.71 ERA. Maniac's team fell behind 3-0. Looked like the Tigers were going to roll again tonight, but Cleveland has a 2-run lead late, and Bosch stays alive. Breaking ball, and he takes just off the plate. Ooh, what a pitch there. 3-2. Bosch trying to keep it going for the big fella. Cabrera on deck. Here comes the crowd. Fly ball toward left field, on the move. Brantley still coming, and the Indians will win this one tonight. A 1-2-3 inning for Chris Perez. The Tigers go in order, and the Indians have pulled back into a first place tie with the Tigers. 6-4 your final score tonight. Back with more from Comerica Park in Detroit.